Hi everyone! So this video might be a little bit different than my normal types of videos, but then again, what are my normal types of videos? I don't know. I mean, generally I tend to try to talk about fandom and media, but like ultimately this is my channel and I can talk about whatever I want on here. Anyways, I will say that I do try to stay a little bit on topic most of the time. This is a little off topic, but to like peel back the curtains a bit, whenever there is a long time between like uploads, so if there's, a couple of months in between some uploads, one, there is some laziness and depression factored into that, but a lot of times I just am into things that I don't think would make good videos. Like a good example of this is with books, not to flex or anything, but I am on my 40th book of 2025, so yes, I'm doing really great. However, I will say that historically on this channel, my videos about books have not done well. Before it sounds like I'm mad about people not clicking on it, I do think it's ultimately good because I think it is important to like have hobbies and interests and things that I do that aren't for content. Anyways, I've kind of already lost the thread. Basically, I just wanted to say that I recognize that this might be a little bit of a random video, at least on my personal channel feed, but I also want to let you guys know that I recognize that, and I'm also want to say upfront that I am not shifting gears of my channel. Like, I just wanted to reassure you guys that I'm not suddenly only going to be talking about like budgeting on this channel. That'd be crazy of me. However, I really wanted to make this video because one, I desperately need to make a no-buy list, and this is my inspiration to finally do that for myself, and also, most importantly, hold myself responsible. I need to make this video so I can officially say this is the start of my no-buy TM, because I need that. I need to hold myself accountable. The second reason I am making this video is because I have been enjoying, or I don't know if enjoy is the right word, because it does fill me with anxiety. It's almost like doom scrolling, doom watching, but like, yeah. However, I have been finding it helpful to hear other people's no-buy lists, so I kind of wanted to make this list just in case maybe you like watching these videos too, or you want some examples of what to put on your no-buy list. Recession core is fun and everything is totally okay in the world. So anyways, this is my no-buy list for the rest of the year. Now, I know it's a little far into the year, like we're almost halfway through, but I do believe that it's better late than never. So I also think that it is good and a positive thing in general to be mindful of what you buy, or at least more mindful of what you buy and consume, especially in this big capitalistic consumerism like machine that we are in. Not to sound too crazy, but yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing to just be mindful about what you consume, because overconsumption is definitely a thing. Like, yes, I do want to start spending less money, but also on the other end of that, I just don't want to have as much. Also, I know I'm gonna get into it soon, I promise, but I just wanted to say that I don't think I'm that bad at like buying a lot. But that being said, just because I'm not like buying blind boxes or collecting like 50 Stanley Cups doesn't mean that I don't have room for improvement. Yeah, that's kind of like my personal relationship currently to buying things. Is I don't think I'm bad, but I definitely still have a place that I can improve upon. I wish I was lying, but this month and last month, like accumulatively, I've spent like $10 on buying energy for a mobile game I'm playing. And like, not to self-tattle on my bank account details, but I like really don't have the leeway to be making that type of spending. So yeah, here is my current no-buy list for the rest of this year. I will say that I do reserve the right to add on to this list. I don't think there's anything I'm missing. However, I'm sure there's probably like a couple of unnecessary expenses that I didn't think of or are hiding somewhere. So yeah, let's get into it. So I have a few categories, and within those categories I have a list of a few things. So the first category is the beauty category. I feel like when I watch these videos, this is like usually kind of staple things that are almost always on these lists, but the first one is skincare. Now, I personally have a pretty solid skincare routine. It's definitely nowhere near those like crazy videos where people show like, here's my 5-hour night routine. Like, I definitely don't have that, but mine is a bit more involved than like bare minimum. You could make the argument that all of it is unnecessary, but I personally want to keep my routine, so I don't necessarily want to change my skincare routine or like pull back on my skincare routine, but I do want to add some rules to what I have currently. So my new rule for skincare is that I am not going to buy any new items until I run out. I know that sounds very basic and normal because it is. That should be how we all live our life and kind of a rule of thumb. I promise you, I'm not pretending that I just came up with this concept. I just want to put that out there. This should be how people work, and that's how a lot of people work. However, that being said, I feel like we've just been influenced into thinking that we like always need a new product to solve something, and like we already have a product that does the same thing that kind of needs to get used up. You know what I mean? You don't need a product that you already have. No, I'm not saying that I'm not going to try new products, but I'm just not going to try new products until I'm out of a product that does the exact same thing. Like, I'm all for trying new sunscreens, but I'm not going to buy a new sunscreen until I run out of the face sunscreen that I currently am using. The second thing under this beauty category is obviously makeup. I am not going to buy more makeup products. I have enough makeup and I don't go through it a lot, because at least with skincare, I feel like I go through it kind of quickly. With makeup, I don't know how. I truly cannot hit the pan of an eyeshadow and I need help. I don't think I'm as bad as I used to be, and I don't think I'm as bad as some people, but that being said, like, I can still improve. Like, my one like exception to this rule is if it's a makeup product that like I truly don't have something else that is in that category of. Like, for example, I only have one like black eyeliner and I use black eyeliner every day. So if I run out of my like $7 black eyeliner, I will allow myself to go and buy a new liquid black eyeliner. But other things like eyeshadow, blush, lipstick, things like that, I'm not going to get more of until I am completely out or out of any sort of alternative. The next thing on this list, still under the beauty category, is nails. I don't know if this is relatable, but I almost constantly have my nails painted. Don't look at my nails now. It has been a week. They are very much due for me to repaint them. But yeah, I almost constantly have my nails painted, and that's kind of because my personal like tick is picking at my nails. So the only thing that kind of stops me from like destroying my nails is just having them like shaped and polished, and just basically make it really hard for me to mess with them. I have never gotten into the habit of getting my nails done professionally, so I luckily have avoided like that type of expense, because I know that can kind of become a little expensive. However, I do my nails a lot. I paint my nails around once a week, but yeah, I paint my nails every week. And because of that, whenever I'm at the store and I like pass by fingernail polish, I kind of have my eye out. However, I don't need to do this. Just like with makeup, I do not go through nail polishes fast enough. Like, again, even after painting my nails like once a week, like there are so many bottles that I've had for years that I'm still trying to get through. I have like 10 bottles of nail polish, and it's not a lot, but like it's more than I need to. Whenever like one nail polish bottle is like $10-12, like I don't need another nail polish bottle every time I go to the store. Like, yes, having the option of choice is nice, but one, my nail colors are like not that big of a deal. Like, you have the idea of like, oh, what will my nail polish go with? My nails and my outfit will not match, so I don't know why I'm carrying. Number two is, in reality, even though I have like 10 different choices, like 99% of the time, whenever I am going to paint my nails, I'm like, oh, let me just paint them black. And that is the end of the story. Like, I don't need 3 different shades of pink. I am going to choose black. That being said, I am officially out of my black nail polish, and I'm not going to buy another one until I am out of all my other nail polishes I have. So that is why we have whatever's going on here. My fourth and final thing under the beauty category is perfume and all other beauty stuff. I know, but yes, like most teenage girls, I did have a phase where I got way too many body sprays at Bath & Body Works, and now, post-college, I'm still regretting it. I have not made my way through them. This is a category that I added just to have in writing because honestly, I've kind of been sticking to this for a few years now. I genuinely have not bought a new perfume or body spray since I was in high school. I am now graduated from college. Maybe I'm tattling on myself. Maybe I stink. Maybe I don't use enough because I only have 3 bottles. I have 3, they're full-size bottles, but like I don't know why. I spray so much on me anymore every day. I have 3 bottles. I spray, like I choose one and I douse myself in it. Please help me. I'm actually tired of smelling the same way that I smelled when I was in middle school gym class. I also included other beauty stuff, which I know is kind of vague, but what I mean by this are things like body lotion, soap, etc. Basically, I won't buy any more of that product category until I run out. That was the beauty category. The next category I've listed under hobbies. Number 1 is video games / in-game purchases. You know how I mentioned how I spent like $10 recently in the in-app purchases on mobile games? Yeah, that needs to stop. I think with like mobile games in particular, it's really hard because you don't really see the way it accumulates. You're like, oh, 99 cents, that's such a deal. And then it's so convenient that you just like kind of press one button and then immediately you are charged 99 cents. It adds up, boys. And again, this rule extends to all video games. That includes video games on Steam, cartridges. I've been collecting a lot of 3DS games because I like my 3DS a lot. That needs to stop. I do want to focus on just like completing and playing what I already own because I know I do own a lot of games that I have not finished or even touched, honestly. Number 2, books. Now, as I mentioned already, I read a lot of books. Now, I will say that most of the books I read, I do get from the library just because I know in my soul that I do not have the money to buy every single book I read, nor do I have the want to buy every single book I read.
I won't lie, there are some times that I read books that I enjoy but are kind of just fillers, and like by the time I'm done with the book, I'm like, yeah, I definitely don't need to own this book, if you know what I mean.
However, I do enjoy owning books. I also think that it's important to physically own your own books too, especially with like banned books and things like that. Like I feel like now more than ever, I definitely recommend having physical copies of banned books or books you love in your own personal collection. I also like owning books that I love dearly. Like there are books that I have on my shelf that like genuinely are like a part of my heart is in there. Like they've become a part of who I am. They've rewired my brain, but like not in like a alpha mode grind set way, but in like a I can't go a second without thinking about a quote from this book. I do want to own books, and all that being said, I will not stop buying books altogether. Like that's personally where I stand on it. This is just me. If you are making a no-buy list, feel free to add books on there. I will also say that I have read most of my owned TBR, but last year my entire year was spent only reading books that I already owned. And so this year I only have around like 5 books that are on my shelf that I own that I have not read yet. So for what I'm going to do is I am only going to buy books with intention. And so I have like a written out to buy list. Like these are the books that I've designated myself to allow myself to buy. And so if I do ever go to like a Barnes and Noble or a store with a friend or something and I see books, I will only buy those books if they are actively on my to buy list. I won't buy books just because they seem kind of cool. If I see a book that seems kind of cool, I usually take a picture of it and then I rent it through the library. Number 3 under the hobbies category is any stationery supplies. So other than sitting here and making YouTube videos, I do a lot of journaling, pen paling, scrapbooking, that kind of thing. And so over the course of my life, I've just kind of acquired a lot of supplies. And now I'm at a point in my life where I have too much. In fact, I have so much that I don't even use any of it anymore because it's such a mess trying to sort through everything I have. For example, I have a lot of stickers. I've just naturally accumulated stickers. However, let's say I am journaling, right? Like if I'm journaling and I want like a sticker that's like of an ice cream cone. My sticker pile is so dense that in my soul, I know that I probably have an ice cream sticker somewhere. However, because there's so much of it, like truly, like I have like boxes of just loose stickers. Because there's so much of it, I don't even bother looking through it. I don't want to take 15 minutes to find an ice cream sticker. Oh, another thing is because I pen pal, a lot of pen pals will like send me stationery supplies. Yeah, I just have enough, you know, like it's an overwhelming amount. I think I just want the satisfaction of like consuming the items that I have. Like I do think there's going to be something like satisfying about being like, oh, this sucky pin that I've kept for like 10 years. I'm just gonna finally use it and get rid of it. My next category is clothing, and I only have one thing on this list, which is accessories. Honestly, I don't think I buy too many clothes to begin with. Like, if I had to say where most of my unnecessary spending goes, it definitely is not clothing. Like, clothing does not make the list. Not to get too personal or sad, which to me are synonymous, but it's not that fun buying clothes if you don't like the way you look in them. So I just don't have a want to buy clothes. However, that being said, where my kryptonite, my weakness is with a little accessories. I know that the term accessories is kind of broad, and that's because it is broad. So like almost everything that goes into that, I do want to encompass in my no buy list. Like, I think if I wore a different pair of earrings every day, I could for the rest of the year. Like I definitely have that many earrings. I have 3 jewelry boxes just of earrings. Like, it's a problem. So yeah. And again, all that being said, I kind of just rotate between all the regular ones, right? Like, I have like maybe a handful of earrings that I wear regularly, and like the rest I kind of just have. But like, I don't need that. I mean, I don't need any more. I definitely am not going to give up the earrings I have. You can pry my earrings from my cold dead hands, but like, I don't need to buy any more. My last category on this no buy list is lifestyle, which I know is pretty broad. Number 1, food. Obviously, I can't not buy food. That's not really how one survives and sustains their body. However, I do want to be smart about my money. I already have a meal plan and meal prep, like that's just what works for me. I only cook for one, so I do tend to do a lot of like prep and planning because I try not to have a lot of food waste. And however, I do want to kind of extend my no buy to trying not to buy any food that is not groceries. Now, I will put an exception for special events or social interactions. So like, for example, if it's someone's birthday, like, and they go out for dinner, I'm going to go out for dinner to like celebrate this person's birthday. I might add an amendment in there. I do enjoy getting out of the house. So maybe let me amend this already, that I'm going to allow myself like one eat out meal a month maybe. But other than that, I am going to try to make my own food and use groceries as much as I can. Number 2, coffee or other little drinks. So I actually don't like coffee, gas. However, there is this one cafe that I am obsessed with. It's a local coffee shop, and it's always a challenge to like not get a drink whenever I'm near it. So I'm going to try to like, in general, don't drink as much little coffees or little drinks. Like, I just don't want to spend, $6 for a little drink. But, because I don't want to make myself crazy, and I do like having some little hits of dopamine, I don't get out of the house much. I kind of go to work and the gym and home, and that's kind of it. So yeah, sometimes when I just want to like go out and be a part of society and not just like hole up in my room, I will go to a coffee shop and work on YouTube or other things, or maybe I'll bring a book and read. Like, I just genuinely like enjoy experiencing other locations. And so I don't want this to completely go away. I don't want to completely say I'm not going to do this ever again. So I will say that I will allow myself to get coffee if the point of the trip is to like go to a coffee shop and spend my day or at least a couple of hours there. And honestly, I only really end up doing this like once every month or so anyway, so it's not like I do this every day. My third and final thing in this category, and also this list in total, are subscriptions. I have personally already started weeding out unnecessary subscriptions and evaluating what to keep and what not to keep. But yeah, this is still on my list. But at this point, I have pretty much unsubscribed to all my subscriptions, and I would like to keep it that way. Streaming service wise, I only have Dropout, which you can pry from my cold dead hands. I am not getting rid of my Dropout subscription, and Spotify. And I plan on ending my Spotify subscription pretty soon. I am working on setting up an iPod and trying to like get through that. So I'll probably be losing Spotify soon. So yeah, I only have Dropout. I also have gone through my Patreon subscriptions, and I'm only really holding on to my NADPod subscription. Shout out to the 2 crew. I love NADPod. I also think I still have a VPN subscription, but I bought it like a year ago and I got the 3-year plan. So I still have a couple of years to like decide whether or not I want to renew it. But yeah, other than that, those are the subscriptions I still have. And I plan on not signing up for any new subscriptions. So yeah. Oh, I also forgot to mention that I have a gym membership, which maybe ties in under subscriptions, but I don't know, but I will be keeping that as well.
Hi everyone, I look a little crazy, but it is editing Malia here, and I just wanted to like chime in because I quite recently ran into like a scenario that has to do with subscriptions, and I thought it would be fun to have a little antidote in here. So for those of you who do not know, I am a graphic designer, or I guess I used to be a graphic designer. I still feel like a graphic designer deep in my bones. I've done like a lot of work for it, both like in-house, in companies, freelance, etc. Do not judge my graphic design skills based off of this channel. I promise I do better work when I actually get money. What I'm trying to say is I used to do graphic design, but I kind of hit a burnout point, and for the past year I have not been doing graphic design. I've recently been getting back into it, both as like a hobby and also like I've started freelancing again, so things like that I have started doing. For those of you who do not know, the main software, like kind of the industry standard for this type of field, is Adobe products, so the entire Adobe suite. And Adobe, the software, is a subscription service, and it is $60 a month. That's at least the current price right now, and it has been for a while, is $60 a month. For a time in my life, it made sense. Like there was a time where, one, I was like getting paid more, like two, it was my job, and like three, like I just was constantly on it. Like it would be losing a limb. However, now where I'm at, where I'm kind of just doing it a little bit more casually, where my financial situation has changed a little bit, I don't want to go back into that ecosystem. So all of that being said, I've now decided that I'm going to switch to a like one-time purchase software. Currently, I am using Affinity. I am not sponsored by no means. If you want to sponsor me, I guess hit me up. I would love to get the product for free. I have yet to buy. It seems pretty okay. I'm on a free trial right now, so I've yet to like decide to purchase, but like I'm leaning towards I'll probably get it. So yeah, I'm just deciding to do like a one-time purchase instead of constantly needing to like pay upkeep subscription, because like it's truly like, don't get me wrong, I get the grind, but I don't like the grind. Anyways, I just thought that was a good example of choosing to try to stay out of subscription services. I'm using Affinity. It's a big learning curve. I haven't ran into like big problems, but it has been hard going to a new system, and I'm like, I don't know why I can't edit this the same exact way, but that is just me talking and yapping now. So thanks for listening.
Okay, that was my no-buy list. But right here at the end, I did want to quickly mention some alternative swaps I would like to make in this year as well. So what I mean by this is that there are some things that I want to find both a cheaper and more sustainable alternatives to. Like all of these products are consumable items, and so as I run out of what I currently have, I want to replace them with like maybe smarter alternatives. Right now, I only have 3 things on this list. First one is cleaning supplies. So most of my cleaning supplies are like single-purpose cleaners. However, I've been seeing a lot of people more online having like more general cleaning products and then like making their own. Yeah, like I think that would be good to just switch out as I run out of stuff. I would like to kind of make my own basic cleaning solutions as an alternative. The second thing is false eyelashes. So I wear false eyelashes religiously, and I do reuse them as much as possible. Like I try not to be single use. They tend to get, you know, a few wears out of them. They do eventually end up in the trash. So I do want to find some sort of alternative. I've tried magnetic eyelashes before. I didn't really enjoy them, but I will say that I tried them when they were really like new on the market. So I think like from what I've seen online and videos and stuff like that, I think they've developed a little bit more. I might have a little bit more options. The third thing on this list is sheet masks. I usually use a sheet mask like once a week. Sometimes I forget, but like I feel like on average, maybe once a week. I tend to use sheet masks when I forget to do skincare for a while, aka I'm just too lazy to do it. Yeah, it's really helpful whenever you go like a week without putting moisturizer on and your skin is like so ashy. So yeah. In the past, I used to have a sheet mask subscription. It was like every month I would get like 8 sheet masks for like $20. However, I just didn't go through them that fast. And so I've now canceled my subscription. I've had the subscription canceled for like a while now, like almost like a year or two without having the subscription. However, I'm still working my way through the backlog of sheet masks from there because I did not use them at the rate in which I was getting them. I don't really want to go back to sheet masks. I would like to find an alternative to them, which is why they're on the alternative list. So yeah, like I know that sheet masks are kind of expensive. Like the subscription service was kind of a deal because it was like 8 masks for $20. Whenever I go to the store, sometimes I see sheet masks being sold for like $6, like for one sheet mask, and that's crazy. They're expensive, but also single use, which I don't necessarily like. I don't love single use items. So I know that there are reusable alternatives. Like I know that there are like reusable masks. I know that there are like, you know, like more like paste masks, if that makes sense. I know that you can like make your own masks. I know that there are just like a lot of alternatives. Maybe not a lot, but at least definitely some alternatives to the single use masks. So yeah, I would like to switch to one of those once I am done with the sheet masks that I still have. So that is what I have on my alternative list for now, but I do see this list like slowly expanding. But long term, I would like to find more sustainable and overall cheaper alternatives to like a lot of different consumable items in my life. So I feel like this is a very long video, so I apologize, but thank you so much for watching it if you are here to the end. I know that recession core is kind of trendy right now, which I kind of feel like is a little dystopian, but you know, if this is how we compartmentalize, then like that's how we do it. Again, the main reason I made this video is honestly just to hold myself accountable. Sometimes just telling myself like, hey, you should start doing this is not enough. So this is me officially putting a start date on this. I'm hoping that once this video is like uploaded, it is like, oh, I constantly know that I have made this public decree that this is what I'm doing, so I better stick to it. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that maybe this gave you some inspiration. If you are trying to make some spending habit changes, please like, comment, and subscribe, and all the other stuff that I'm supposed to ask you to do. Have a nice day, and I will see you next time, or maybe not. Bye.